I don't believe in ghosts, I said to myself. I said to myself. I said to myself. But let me explain what has happened. It's in the middle of the night, and occasionally, when half awake, I would hear a dim beep, 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 and thinking, because our window was always open, it was somebody's car backing up or a city street cleaner. Off to sleep I would go. Then one night, it was very loud, and as I grabbed the radio switch, it stopped. Who set the alarm for 3:43 a.m. in the morning, I scowled. Although in the morning, nothing showed that the clock was set for that time. I assumed I must have unset it in the night. A night or so later, the same thing happened, but this time the beep stopped on its own after a minute or so. On investigation, the clock showed no sign that it had been set, but the beep had started again at 3:43 a.m. So the next day, I decided to retire the sick clock and find another one. Fortunately, since we had run a bed and breakfast a few years back, we had a number of clock radios, so no problem there. I was prepared for finally a good night's sleep. My God, it happened again. When I got to checking out the third clock, and the same thing happened, having a mind like a steel trap, I now was certain it wasn't the clock that was haunting me. There was a change, however. I was now being harassed at 2:43 a.m. With the end of daylight savings, the time had been pushed back, so my not-so-friendly poltergeist was doing its dirty work an hour earlier. Getting a brainwave, the next day it struck me that I bet my little iPod, which I sometimes listen to at night, has a Bluetooth on and is causing the problem. Sure enough, it was on, and once turned off, I was sure the problem was solved. No such luck. Next to go was the plug on the Apple TV. Another night, and still no fix. In desperation, the next night, on first beep, I jumped up and chased around the bedroom trying to pinpoint exactly where the beep was coming from. When the next day I told my wife, who had been sleeping through most of all this activity, that it seemed to be loudest in the bathroom and that the only electronic item there was her electric toothbrush, I could see she was beginning to question my sanity. As a result, I suggested the next time I would wake her up and together we could chase after the little monster. She agreed. Sure enough, the next night at the same time, off we went, and before it stopped, we were in agreement that it seemed to be coming from the plug where the toothbrush was plugged in. Was the toothbrush causing it? The next night, we unplugged it to see if it stopped the little varmint. At the same time, I set up a tape recorder in the main part of the house to see if it was calling out from another plug. Elsewhere in the house, only the grandfather clock broke the silence of the night. It was time to bring in 2 engineers from the family. My theory is that it was the interference from another home in the area, but who would be setting an alarm at 3:43, then change it to 2:43 every night? My engineer's only idea was that it was a message within our system giving us a reminder of some kind. What would that reminder be? It surely wasn't to get more sleep. Checking that lead, we again thought we had the answer when we spotted 238 on the ventilation fan wall settings, only to be crushed when we discovered the 2 was a setting for the speed of the ventilation fan, and 38 was a record of the relative humidity in the house. So indeed, it is simply we have our own mischievous little poltergeist who just hangs out in our bathroom plug Then the next thing was to plug the hairdryer into the adjoining outlet and try to capture it. Being locked in, would this shut him up? So far it has. But then again, maybe he has moved to another plug in the house to work his magic. Fine. I don't care. It's not in our bedroom, and finally I can get a night's sleep.